Good morning students. This is our fourth video, that is method of separations, and we already discussed in our previous video about three type of methods of separation. In this video we will start our fourth separation method, that is sublimation. We already studied in our earlier classes and in our earlier chapter what is sublimation. Sublimation is a process in which solids convert into gaseous state without passing through liquid states, right? Means out of two component. In this process was applicable on that solution in which out of two component one will sublime, means directly convert to gas from solid, and other will not. Means in this method there are two components in which one component will sublime, means that component convert into solid to gaseous state directly, and one component did not change, means did not sublime. Let us take some example that is clear this method. To separate common salt and camphor, we will do one activity, so it is clearly understand what was the method and how it is applicable, and these are our activity of sublimation. Now in this activity we have taken a funnel, a burner, a china dish. These are the materials required for these activities. What we are doing in this activity, first we will take a burner and we put a china dish on a burner, and we put a inverted funnel, means we have to put funnel inverted on a china dish, and we have to put a mixture of camphor and salt, because this is our ingredients that helps to explain the method of sublimation. We have to separate this camphor and salt, mixture of camphor and salt. So we have to put this mixture on a china dish, and we have to put inverted funnel on the china dish. Then we have to burn the burner. Burner will slightly and slowly burn, hit the funnel, and after some time the camphor. What is camphor? Camphor means kapoor that we are using at our home in puja. So that camphor will the sublime substance, and it directly convert into solid to gaseous state. You have to see here, these are the vapor of camphor. Then it slowly rises up and goes to at the top of the funnel. So there we have already closed the funnel, top of the funnel with cotton plug. So means vapors doesn't goes outside. So we have to stop the burner, and after some time the funnel was be cool, and the vapor of the camphor will again converted into solid form, and here it will stick at the edge of the funnel, and we have get a solidified camphor from here, and the remain was salt. So this way we will separate camphor and salt by sublimation process. So this is the activity that is based on sublimation method. Then we will go our next topic, and that is chromatography. It is another method of separation. In this method the basic principles are: colored component of a mixture can be separated by using an absorbent on which they are absorbed at different rates. Means in this process we have to convert, means we have to separate the colored component. Means from this method we will use to separate the colored component they are in different rates. And the examples are, if we want to see the example, that the best example to separate colors of dye, we know the color that we make, it was different, we have to mix different colors to make different color. So to separate drugs from blood, means for taken out drugs in a blood, we have used chromatography method. Let's see an example that is clearly. Now here I have taken a strip of filter paper, okay, then we have to draw a line by pencil approximately from bottom to 30 centimeter distance. We have to draw up line with pencil. Then after, we have to spot a ink there at the center of the line. Here it was the marked by arrow cross, where was ink we have to spot. Then we have to take a jar. In jar we have to fill some water at some height. Then we have to put a paper, that filter paper that we have spot a ink, and we have to put this on in the jar, and that we have to only fill the half of the water, it doesn't touch the line, it was below the line, okay, water was below the line. So we have to close the jar with glass rods, and we have to hang the paper with paper clip, filter paper. Then we have to we didn't disturb the filter paper and jar, we have to stir right now. Then after some time, what will happen, the water will rises up from bottom to the top, and the dye, the ink, that there are so many type of color in the ink. So the ink has more soluble in water, they rises with water to the top, and thus that color doesn't dissolve, must dissolve in water, it still remain there. So like this we have separate the two color by chromatography method. And our third method is distillation, and the basic principle of distillation was based on separating mixture of miscible liquid. What is miscible liquid? That liquid that are mixed with each other, like sugar solution, salt solution. These are the example of miscible liquids. So two miscible liquids, if we want to separate two miscible liquids, we have the two component have their boiling points different, and it followed by condensation process out of two component, and one has lower boiling point, another has higher boiling point. From this method we used and to separate two or more miscible liquid by the process of distillation. So example, to separate mixture of acetone and water. Let's see an example of that activity based on distillation, in which the material we have taken here, a stand, a clamp, a distillation flask, thermometer, burner, water condenser, then funnel, and all these things we have taken here. Then first we have to put a mixture of acetone and water in the distillation flask, and we have to close the distillation flask, and we have to put a thermometer on a distillation flask. See here, it was put here. Then we have to on the burner, and we have to heat the distillation flask. After some time, the temperature of the flask will rises, we will directly see in a thermometer. Then we have observed the thermometer was slightly rises. So after some time the vapor rises and goes in the condensed water condenser, then goes in a water condenser. Here we have to fill the cold water in the condenser, and after when hot air passes through the condenser, and cold water will cool the hot air, and it convert into water, and that water is a acetone. Means the boiling point of acetone is less than water, so the acetone is vaporized with water, and it condense the air. Cold water condense the hot air, and it again convert into liquid form, and from this method we have separate the water and acetone by the process of distillation. So today we will study about another three method of distillation, that is sublimation, chromatography and distillation. We will continue our next topic. This is our seventh method of separation and fractional distillation. In fractional distillation, there are more than two components that are mixed at different boiling points. So we are rising our temperature at different temperature, and we get different components at different temperature. From this process, we are taking and separating the air and petroleum. We all know diesel, kerosene, petrol, CNG, LPG, these all are the fractions of petroleums. So from these methods we get different substance at different temperatures by the method of fractional distillation. So, and our eighth method and the last method of separation was crystallization. The basic principle of crystallization is to remove impurities from a mixture of first dissolving solvent. Means we have to separate impurities from the substance. We are using crystallization method. We all know from seawater we get salt, and we all know the seawater is full of impurities, filled with impurities. So we have to use a salt. The first we have to separate the impurities from the salt. So from the method of crystallization we have separate the impurities from the salt. And the other example, if we want to separate the sulfur, if we have sulfur salt, then we have to separate. So we use crystallization method. In that method there is a burner, okay, rough diagram we are using. Then we have to put here sulfur, we have to mix sulfur and water in the flask. So we have to burn and heat the flask. Then after some time, when the temperature of the sulfur solution was boiled, so we have to stop heating. After some time, what happened? The water was cool and the sulfur crystal settled down, and the impurities was on the top of the water. So by this method we separate the impurities from sulfur. Understand? So this the method of separation. All the 8th method we have discussed in our 4 videos. Now this is our last part of this chapter, and that is the important point of separation, difference between physical and chemical change. We already discussed in earlier classes of this method, but now I will once again explain you, then it is revise your topic. Physical change and chemical change. What is physical change? Physical change is a reversible change, also a reversible change. Like if we stretch the rubber band, it change their states, right? Then we will leave, then it again come their earlier states. So that is called reversible change, and so physical change is a reversible change. When we react the substance and the product we get, and it does not the new product format, then it is also called a physical change. So these are the properties of physical change. What is that? A physical change is not easily reversible, no new product format, often just a state change, only state will change, but so like water to ice, ice to vapor, then again vapor to ice, and ice to vapor. So these are the physical change examples. Now chemical change. Chemical change, it is also not easily reversible. Okay, new substance are formed when the reactions happening in chemical change, it occurs light, heat and sound. Example, wood burning. If we burn the wood, it doesn't change, reverse the process. So it is an example of chemical change. We already discussed about pure substance. There are two types of pure substance, element and compound. Elements are classified into three categories, that is metal, non-metal and metalloids. What is metal? A metal has a lustrous property, means the surface of the metal always shining, but non-metal does not have lustrous property. It is malleable and ductile, but non-metal is not malleable nor ductile. What was meaning of malleable and ductile? Malleable is a property, a metal that convert into sheet, that is a property of malleable. And if a metal drawn into a wire, that is the property of ductility. So metal have the property of malleability and ductility, but non-metal doesn't have. Now metal has a good conductor of heat and electricity, but non-metal doesn't have a good conductor of heat and electricity except graphite. Example, gold and iron, these are the examples of metal, and oxygen and phosphorus is an example of non-metal. And our last topic is metalloid. If the elements have both property of metal and non-metal, then that element is called metalloid, like boron and silicon. So our second chapter also finished.